Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin.
And Matt.
And no Landon today.
No Landon.
There are a lot of rumors swirling around.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is that he is actually integral to the deal between Disney and 21st Century Fox.
They needed him as a good negotiator.
Yeah, he's
like the movie Negotiator.
I was going to say, just like Sam Jackson.
That's right.
He's going to step in there and negotiate this thing, get this thing done, because we need this done.
I think he's trying to get some perks for himself, but that's hearsay.
He's trying to wiggle his way in so that he can take over for Beast.
That's what I'm thinking. He's like, "Can I be Beast?" And they're like, "No." "Can I be Beast's son?" "No." "Can I be Beast's dad?"
Well, I hope that is part of the deal. I'd love to see that happen, but
Be interesting.
But we don't have him today. We expect him back Thursday, so never fear. It's just a temporary hiatus.
Yeah, he's got to get this deal done, guys. I mean, we really need it.
It is November the 12th. This is episode 71, officially, of Nerd News Cafe.
Were you told to say 71 this time?
I wasn't told to say
Ron
it.
Howard said, "Now you can say 71."
I don't know if anybody happened to pick up on this, but I may have gone back and
I did hear it.
just like
It
George
was the-
Lucas.
It was I heard 71 or 70. I was like, that.
I pulled a George Lucas.
It was awful.
Except I should have released it and then re-released it.
I wish you had done like a deeper voice like they do on TNT or something, where they say,
When they're-
"You stupid, goodness gracious."
I tried to make it sound different on purpose, though.
That's pretty good.
But it lined up okay.
Yeah, it worked out. It was just funny. It's like, what?
But if you listened to it and you thought it was normal, then it would have been weird for you on
Get your hearing checked.
Thursday when I said, I don't know why I called Tuesday 71, because you would have been like, you didn't. You said 70. It was totally normal.
It was fine. You were fine.
Yeah, but today is 71. We're getting the 71 in there. And I apologize for any confusion that may have caused.
They're downloading stuff and like, 71? What am I doing here?
Yeah. So we're doubling up on 71. It'll be 71 today.
Today.
Yeah.
2 71s.
On this Tuesday. But thank you. We're glad you're back. And we have quite the show to get into.
There is a lot happening.
And we're both fired up. We've got some we have some drinks to help fuel us into this fray. So Matt, yours is in such an interesting container that I want you to start us off.
Probably the most marketable piece of garbage I think I've ever seen, because as soon as I saw it, I was like, this looks like something perfect to drink on the show.
Yeah.
It is a Monster drink. Mm-hmm. Monster Hydro.
Not in the typical black can.
Not in the typical black can. It's in a plastic bottle shaped like a Monster can with an aluminum top sealed to it. It looks like the cheapest drink you can buy. I mean, this is like right next to those orange punches and stuff you can buy at like the dollar
Maybe
stores.
the little barrels of juice.
Yeah, the little barrels of juice. This is the next step up, and it's Tropical Thunder. But,
Tropic Thunder.
Tropic
That's a good
Thunder.
movie.
I know, it's a great movie. Evidently, they could not get the rights to Tropic Thunder, so they had to add the
Tropic Owl.
Tropic Owl Thunder, and I don't know. Let's see if it'll open. I don't know if I can
I
get
wonder
it.
what kind of sound it's going to make.
It's going to make an awful
I
sound.
could go back to the last episode and paste in that, because I had a really
Here
good...
is the drink. I can't even get the freaking thing open.
it. He's struggling.
Man,
You need a tool, and I don't have anything.
I don't have anything. This is awful. There it goes. There. Okay,
Oh,
I got it
loosen it.
moving.
Nice.
It's all right. It's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That wasn't too bad.
It was just hard to open.
Ooh, that orange hits you right in the face. Oof. There is
nervous.
a lot of sugar.
He has a
There's lot of
nervous look about him as he starts to...
tastes like watered down orange punch.
Okay.
It's hydro. It's hydro. We have filled this can with water and added that orange.
Added some orange color.
Ooh, it's got that chemical taste.
Oh, I bet it does.
Ooh,
You the monster.
yeah. I'm gonna try to finish this, guys. I cannot promise anything.
I have a special holiday drink.
You do. I see that.
So I'm a big Mountain Dew guy. And so when I saw this at the store, I felt like it is the holiday season, right? This is the Holiday Brew. Mountain Dew Holiday Brew, new flavor. And at the top it says Dew plus Code Red. So what I imagine this is going to taste like is a watered down Code Red.
A watered down or a very citrusy Code Red.
Yeah.
Oh, now see, that's how it should sound. Not this whatever was going on with mine.
Squirted me
It
in the
did.
eye.
It was so
Not the eye, bro.
Not the eye, but it's so thirst quenching.
Yeah.
Hit it.
Smells like Code Red.
Okay. What you got?
It tastes like Code Red.
Does it taste like the holidays? That's the question.
It does taste Yule-tidy.
It's their version of their eggnog.
Yeah.
They don't do eggnog at the Mountain Dew factory. They just start mixing stuff together.
But by the way, eggnog is out, and it was
it is.
was in consideration for me today, so that's probably going to be next week's drink.
Oh, you should,
Spoiler alert.
And as every show going towards Christmas, more and more rum's going to go into this eggnog.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
There you go.
Spike it up.
Yeah, it's like this drink is brought to you by this rum.
And it is full of cheer.
I did see an advent calendar that you can get that's gin.
I saw.
Did you
I've
see
seen
that?
Those, yeah,
that was interesting. It was ridiculously priced, but I thought that's interesting. So
I want to say last year that Patton Oswalt did like an advent calendar that was Scotch or something.
I think if you're looking for a gift to give that alcoholic in your life, I think you should go to your local, your local liquor store if you have one of those. And just get airplane bottles and try to get
Make your own.
make a little board with hooks and just put the little guys on there, tie little bows on them and then hang them on these hooks. And it's like, oh, today is 3 days before Christmas. That's going to be a whiskey day,
Yeah, for sure.
So
Get your wassail on.
get your wassail on.
Yeah,
Get your wassail on.
wassail. And now as we wassail with our weird drinks, I say we get into the headlines. Of the
Oh
week.
yeah.
And we teased this as we talked about Landon's involved in these negotiations. I think we should kick off with probably one of the biggest headlines of the week, which was Disney reportedly in talks to purchase 21st Century Fox. Now, why is this important to us, Matt?
Because we've got to get that mutant word. We have to get it. First off, this is a hostage situation I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because we've got 20th Century Fox, who has for a long time held without any kind of precedent of letting go or anything. X-Men, Fantastic Four,
Yep.
and the word mutant. And all the associated characters with those two franchises and that word. So if Disney can go in there and negotiate with Landon's help, I think this is going to be big. Because I mean the turnaround alone. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been watching this The Gifted. That's an awesome show.
That's good.
It's a real good show. I think Fox is doing a great job in TV. We all saw our the Fantastic Four's latest iteration. That did not
so good.
And I really tried to like it, guys. I'm sure there's somebody out there that loves it. I would love to hear from you because I know it's 1% viewership on that. It wasn't good. It had a good cast.
Yeah, it had a lot of potential when you looked at it on paper.
I wish it had been another movie. I think I told you this before. If it had been just a science fiction movie and not the Fantastic Four, it'd have been a cool movie. But they ruined it by putting Fantastic Four on it.
Yeah.
So that and X-Men. And I mean, they did a good job with Logan. They've let things go with Logan. Deadpool's crushing it. But the X-Men movies...
Yeah, for some reason they've just misfired.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the first X-Men, great. 2, it's okay. And then we kind of misstepped from there on until we got to Days of Future Past, which was really good, I thought.
I like Days of Future.
And then Apocalypse was... it had good parts. It just wasn't good. So, I'm hoping they'll, be able to make this deal happen. I mean, even if it's just what they're doing with Sony and Spider-Man, just get them in the world.
Right.
Just let's get them in with these other characters they've done a bang-up job of doing, so.
I think, I don't know, if we get the news, like, in the next couple of days that this happens, I think we need to have a champagne party, a pop-up
Popping
champagne.
bottles.
Yeah, pop some bottles. We'll do a live stream on YouTube
There you go.
or something, and we'll toast with everybody. Just because, honestly, let's bring the family back together. That's what I want.
It's so disconjointed.
It really is, and I think, I trust that Disney would do the right thing and put Inhumans out of its misery.
Oh, God. Why don't we, I think the best thing they could do is sell it to DC because you can't do any worse. And it's like, DC, here you go, man. It's all you.
I mean...
And that's not a slant on DC. It's just their movies aren't working out.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was like the anomaly right now.
Yep.
So, and who knows what's going to come with this Justice League movie. I mean...
People are saying good things so far. from what
and
I've heard.
that's helpful. But I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna make this statement, and I'm probably gonna get shamed or booed. I don't want to see it opening night because I kind of want to know where Superman comes in because I'm not waiting that whole movie for him. I'm not. That sucks. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. So you're gonna wait and find out like how many minutes in do we get Superman?
Right. If he's in the middle of the movie, I'll go see it.
Okay.
If it's at the end, it's going to be a red box.
You'll red box it. Okay.
Because I like it, but it's like, that's my dude. And I don't know.
That's a lot of restraint, I feel like.
It is. Because I really want to see it. I want to see what happens because I like the Flash. I like the casting. You know, I'm not going to attempt her name. Gal
Gadot.
Gal Gadot. She's killing it with Wonder Woman, which I watched again at the Cardio Theater.
Okay.
That movie really gets you pumped.
Yeah, I bet it does. When you watched it for a second time.
In a cardio way.
That's good clarification. When you watched it a second time, do you feel like it still held up for you? Like it was still as good as you thought it was the first time?
I liked it, but as I watched the battle, I didn't like Ares at first, but now I'm like, the battle seemed a little silly in parts.
Yeah.
Me.
That was probably...
The second time, like, I guess I was so caught up in what was happening, I didn't realize how silly some of the stuff was.
Yeah, that was my least favorite part of the movie.
Yeah. I can see that.
The battle with Ares.
She's flying at times, and like the whole thing with the bracelets and trying to figure that out, and then her like, you know, she almost phoenixed is what happened into her powers, and I get that, but I didn't like the way it happened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Well, because I think the movie was doing a great job of doing everything it needed to do up until that point without going so far into the CGI and all that stuff. And then that whole scene is all CGI. That's all it is. And it's just a little, for me, it was too much. Like I
didn't realize how
I
didn't like the guy that played Ares the first time I saw it, but this time I watched it, he really did like work on like his physical prowess to look big. You know, he was like jacked. And I think they overdressed him to make him look small and frail until that part. And I was like, okay, this guy really did try to make himself out to be a Greek god. And it helped me to see, what was the terrible movie? It's not terrible, but Clash of the Titans. If you see how those gods are, they're not huge. They're not like these big titans. I mean, you've got, you know, some small people in there. So it was kind of like, oh, okay, I see how this works now. So I was more convinced that he was a Greek god.
Okay.
I don't know about Hades, but or not Hades, but Ares, but I don't know. Anyway, it just seemed, I don't know, it just seemed silly. But the emotional part with Chris Pine and her having to like live with that forever was still there. You know, I was like, man, this is really emotional. So, but Chris Pine, it's Chris Pine, man. He does a good job.
He does. He's good at what he does. So, just kind of digging into this deal just a little bit more. So, the deal specifically would include 20th Century Fox, 21st Century Fox, both of those movie studios. But it would not include the two broadcast companies. Okay, so basically because of antitrust laws, Disney could not own two broadcast companies. So it would not include Fox Broadcast Network. But it would include cable networks like FX and National Geographic.
So they wouldn't own The Simpsons.
But not Fox Sports, right. Which is interesting because as we were talking about it, you mentioned The Gifted, and I was thinking, okay, so doesn't that mean that now The Gifted would be a Disney thing? And so then I'm starting to think about what we're going to talk about later, which is the streaming service.
Yes.
But I don't know. That's weird. Maybe it wouldn't.
I don't know that they'd get the TV. So they wouldn't own... I mean, they wouldn't own The Gifted. They wouldn't own... I'm trying to think of prominent things on Fox right now. You know, Simpsons is a freaking, you know, anthology for them.
So here's something we've missed.
Oh,
as we were talking about this. The purchase of 21st Century Fox would bring the X-Men movie franchise under the Disney umbrella.
As it should.
You know what else it would bring under the Disney umbrella?
Who do we miss?
Alien.
Really?
Yeah.
Fox owns Alien?
Yeah.
21st
Century Fox.
They could fix it.
I'm
not gonna lie. I mean, these people are hitting home runs every time, so it's hard for me to say, well, I don't know that they could do it. But it's not a matter of like Disney being able to do it. It's Disney knowing the people to put into the position to do it.
Yeah.
I know it's a Ridley Scott thing. I know it's his thing.
Yeah.
But maybe he's not the person to do it anymore. Just saying.
Well, I think he's kind of always going to be like an executive producer.
As he should be.
Yeah.
It's his baby. Romero, I think, was on countless, zombie movies for a while. And his son is actually making a prequel right now to Night of the Living Dead. Mm-hmm. But, I think he should be involved. I'm just saying they would know the people to put in there, the Ron Howards, as it were, like they've done with some other stuff. So,
yeah. Now let's talk a little bit about this one. This one's taking it's a big news, so it's taking big time.
It's okay,
but I want to say before we got on the air, we were talking about how you were expressing concerns about Deadpool,
and I have the same concerns that Ryan Reynolds expressed. Is that what happens to those movies? Because Logan was an R movie, and everybody loves Logan. I have yet to meet somebody who didn't have more pros than cons. Mm-hmm. And Deadpool was an amazing movie because you let Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds, and you let that Deadpool fourth wall be craziness. Mm-hmm. And it worked. And they made a lot of money off of it, but Disney don't put out R movies. Mm-hmm. They don't.
Right.
But you had kind of some thoughts to that of how it would work.
My counterpoint is just that I feel like, as Disney's gotten into this acquisition business, they've done a really good job of acquiring, funding, maybe providing some direction, but staying out of the way. Mm-hmm. And I point to like Marvel. You talk about Marvel Comics. I don't think Disney is really that involved, aside from they're probably saying, "Hey, by the way, let's push some Star Wars comics," and that's why we got those. Right
yeah. We need the marketing for this time.
And so they're pushing some things forward, but they're funding those things, and I think. Honestly, it's probably more quality control than it is anything else, providing that overarching direction.
A hand on the rudder, as you're saying.
Yeah. But I don't think they're going to get in the way and say, no, because what we'll see, I gave the example of the Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. When those movies come out, they say Lucasfilm on the front of them.
True. But they do have the Disney little star across the castle, right?
They haven't been doing that at the beginning of the Star
Have they
Wars
not?
movies.
I always thought they did.
Mm-mm. No, if you watch Last Jedi, they didn't do that. Everybody was wondering, like, will there be like a doo-doo-doo?
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. It was just Lucasfilm, and then it went right into... And Rogue One did the same thing. So, I think that what we'll see is it'll still be under the 21st Century Fox banner. Okay. And Disney just doesn't... They're not going to plaster their name on the front of it because they don't want to give the wrong branding. Mm-hmm. Because really, you're right. It is a branding thing.
Yeah, it's all about whose name's on it and what you're actually putting out.
Yeah.
I mean, because Disney doesn't want to be known... I mean, don't get me wrong, Deadpool's a funny movie, but it is an adult movie.
Dirty.
And yeah, it's pretty lewd, and they're not going to put their name on that because that's not the image they want to portray.
Yeah. So, and then the other example I gave was the streaming shows like Daredevil, the Defenders, and things.
Yeah,
and while these
that's true. They are darker.
They're not dirty like Deadpool or raunchy, but
they
they're
don't have
brutal.
the Disney thing either.
Right. But they're brutal. I mean, the violence, that's not something you'd see in a Disney movie.
Yeah, especially the Punisher one. I can only imagine
Punisher
one that's going to come out. It's going to be pretty graphic.
So I think that while
I like your theory, I really hope that's the reality of things, and that we get. Of course, we're going to get the next Deadpool, regardless of what happens here, as they've got too much money wrapped up in it. But I just hope that they keep on with that. Okay, this is not the Disney brand. This is the Fox brand. Let's just put that right there.
Yep. And then they get to
reap the benefits. I'm reaping all the benefits.
Yeah. So, and that's exactly what it's going to be. There are going to be people. You're going to have Disney traditionalists, probably like Disney shareholders that are going to be ticked off about this.
Sure, they are. But until they get a check,
and then they're going to get the check, and they're going to be like, dividends. This is all good.
I guess I'll put that million on top of the other million.
Yeah. Yeah. Money changes minds.
It does.
Yeah.
That's the world we live in. It's okay though. So I hope that's a reality. I like your counterpoint just because it's what I want. It's what I want to happen.
But I totally get the concern, and I feel like it's a valid concern, and we'll just have to see. Mm-hmm. But my feeling is that Disney also is aware how much money Deadpool.
Oh yeah, I mean it's probably it's their most successful movie, right?
It's the most successful
superhero
movie. I for Fox.
Yes,
100%. It has to be. Logan's up there too, though.
That's what I'm saying. Logan couldn't have been far behind him. But Logan, I think, other than the R title, I think it was the end of that character is what really sold that movie out.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to see how the story ends. Everybody has to have closure. If you don't believe me, read a book. Everybody's got to know how the story ends.
Yeah.
People get mad when TV shows end, a.k.a., Firefly.
Right?
That people want the end of the story. So.
Oh, man. That makes me sad because it'd be cool if...
Wait, who owns Firefly?
Well, it was Fox.
So,
but it was Fox Broadcasting.
So they wouldn't get that either.
I don't know how that works.
That title, I mean, I haven't seen much of it, but I feel like that's kind of a Disney-esque
God, it would be awesome
title.
I would totally be on board if all of a sudden Firefly and the brown coats, that was all somehow in the Star Wars galaxy.
Oh, good Lord.
Come on.
What if it's in the Marvel galaxy?
I'd be fine with that, too. Except, isn't Mal... Captain Reynolds, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh yeah, well, is that where he retired to?
Yeah. So, I don't know, man, but we'll see how it all plays out.
I mean, you never know what they can own, and here's the thing: how easy would it be to go to Fox and say they wanted Fireflies, like, how do we get this property over to our property? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, we'll just sell it to you. We'll sell it under our banner to our banner. Oh, okay, cool. And they sell it over, and then it becomes the production house or whatever it is they're buying.
Yeah. I don't know how this stuff works.
I don't
exactly.
either. Like business and adulting and stuff. I have no idea how any of that works.
But it does feel like there'd have to be some sort of a back channel deal, because I feel like that they would argue that that's not part of the movie studio. It's part of some sort of
They wouldn't let go of it, but then, I mean, yet again, it's negotiations. It's building this deal. You give me this, I get this. You give me this, I get this. I mean, Fox is going to do nothing but benefit from this. So why not give them what they want?
So I was just pulling up the numbers here. I was just really curious about...
Oh, the number one?
So Deadpool is number 17 all-time for superhero movies when it comes to international box office. It made $438 million.
That's surprising. I would have thought more.
And Logan is number 25. It made $389 million. So I'm doing a quick look here. Actually, Suicide Squad being, that's DC. But what? I'm throwing that up.
I don't think Fox made them.
No, they don't. I was getting myself confused. I'm trying to see really quickly if there's anything Fox above that.
Yeah.
And I don't see it. So, no. It's either Marvel or DC is above that. So the highest in my quick review here, Deadpool is the highest grossing Fox superhero movie ever.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to quickly pull up Suicide Squad, but yeah,
it's not Fox. It's DC.
not a Fox. Yeah.
I don't know why it came to mind that it was a Fox.
I just want to know who pushed it out, but
yeah.
Nevertheless, it. That's what I said. I mean, they've made a ton of money from Deadpool. And I mean, that's just box office. We're not even talking Blu-ray sales here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that alone, I can only imagine, because I know everybody that I know was like, oh, I got to get that. Yeah. And they've watched it. And it's one of those, I'm not going to lie, you can rewatch Deadpool. If you enjoyed it the first time, you'll enjoy it 6 more times. It's a funny movie.
Definitely rewatchable.
All day. I don't know that it'll hold up the test of time, but it'll definitely make me smile whenever I want to watch something.
All-time Blu-ray sales, Deadpool is 16. Number 16.
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and think about everything else that's out there.
So then it was right under Lord of the Rings, the motion picture trilogy.
Which is a big one. I'm not going to lie. I bought it. I bought the trilogy.
Yeah. Number 1, all-time Blu-ray sales, Frozen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
Jurassic World's number 7.
Jurassic World's number 7?
Yeah.
Sheesh.
All right, let's go from talking about things that have been successful movies and successful franchises to something that maybe is in trouble. So there's an article that came out this week, and it was on comicbook.com, came out November 8th, that basically is saying that the Universal's Dark Universe is reportedly in jeopardy.
It is, and it just... I was hoping this would be something... Now, I'm not going to lie, when I heard that they canceled Bride of Frankenstein, I wasn't really broke up about it, because I don't think that was the right move. I just don't feel like that's the monster you should have went with. I told you, the only reason they went with that is because of the Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. The Wonder Woman. Because of the Wonder Woman. And don't get me wrong, that's the right reasons to go with it, but... At the same time, Warner Brothers put out Suicide Squad.
Okay, Warner. That's right, Warner Brothers. That's right.
But the I don't know. I was talking to my friend Thomas on our other podcast, and we had the same opinion that if they had connected Dracula Untold, that one would have been a better way to connect that universe and go forward with that, and maybe that could have helped it a little bit. I take it this whole mummy thing of it being garbage, which it's not a bad movie. If you get a chance to see it, guys, watch the movie. Let us know on the forums what you think about it. I think it's a good movie. It's not going to blow you away. It's not going to change your mind on the whole mummy thing, but it is different. And I think the ending tells a lot of what they want to do with it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's not surprising that this happened. It's just, I don't know. I was kind of excited about some of those movies.
I was too.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
I was excited just about the whole thing because I'm a fan of the classic monsters.
Absolutely. I was surprised that the werewolf's not in there. That was another surprise. I was like, really? We're not doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
And this, I don't know. There could have been some fun storylines in there with these monsters having to take something on, because that's what they were going to build up to. I'm sure it'll be interesting.
Well, there are a couple things that are playing in here. One of them was the fact that the mummy, just from a broad perspective, was not received very well.
No, it wasn't. And it went up some tough competition, too. So, I mean, it's one of those ones, a casualty of the day it came out.
I think that's part of it, yeah. But I think maybe people also went in maybe expecting something different. I don't know. But,
well, the critics didn't help. And that kind of pissed me off in a way. It was like, okay, I get you. It's not your classic mummy, but I mean, consider it for what it is. And then Tom Cruise being attached to it kind of has some certain connotations, and I don't know. I think it's the perfect storm for people to hate it. So.
Yeah. Well, the other problem that's playing a big part here is that the creative leads for the Dark Universe, Alex Kurtzman and Chris Morgan, have departed the project. Apparently, their contracts expired in September, and both have left for new projects. Kurtzman has moved to a television focus. He's actually the co-creator and executive producer of Star Trek Discovery.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to focus on.
And Morgan is going to the Fast and Furious franchise to work on the spinoff starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham. So
there's no reason to turn down any of those projects. I mean, I can understand where they're like fleeing like roaches with the lights on.
Yeah. So going to things that they already know are going to be successful, moving on, from this. That honestly, there's a real big chance that it could the whole thing could bomb and fall apart, and their names would be attached to it. But it's also a huge opportunity, and there are people like you and me who are pretty super excited about all of this. So I don't know. I think that the you bring in the poor impression that the mummy made. You factor in the issues with the losing the co-creative leads. They're still looking at options, but basically Universal, they hadn't even really given like release dates for all of these other movies that they were going to make. But here was a quote from Peter Kramer, who is the Universal president of production. Peter Kramer, yeah. He said, "We've learned many lessons throughout the creative process on Dark Universe so far, and we are viewing these titles as filmmaker-driven vehicles, each with their own distinct vision. We're not rushing to meet a release date, and we'll move forward with these films when we feel they are the best versions of themselves." So it almost sounds like one of those things that basically they're like, well, we don't know when they're going to happen, and it could just kind of just totally peter out. So that I'm just disappointed.
I can give you a side view of that whole quote. It's not the right time for these movies.
Yeah. Well,
would it disappoint you to maybe if they released one around Halloween every year or every 2 years?
No, that'd be awesome.
I mean, I'd be all about it. Yeah. I mean, even if they're not great, it still gets you in the mood, and I think that's what they should do with them. But I don't know if they want to spend their money like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a pretty cool way to do it. I just don't want it to end. We talked...
No, I like the idea of it.
Yeah, I like the idea, and we had talked before about how you just don't get those movies with kind of the classic monster feel anymore. And I was really hoping that maybe these would be in that mold. Like maybe they would feel very retro and nostalgic and things like that. Of course, The Mummy I know was not.
No,
really
it
like
wasn't
that.
at all.
But I just kind of hope that maybe a few of these would feel that way.
But they said, each has their own creative thing, so they don't have to tie to The Mummy. They can tell their own story, and then they'll figure out a tie it at the end.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not bad. I was excited about Creature of Black Lagoon. We haven't had anything like that in a long, long time. And the closest that we can get to that, in my mind, is Monster Squad. If you've never seen it, do yourself a favor.
People keep talking about that movie lately, and isn't that like an 80s movie?
It is an 80s movie. It's around about the time as Goonies.
Okay.
I want to say it's after Goonies. And it was just, the classic 4 kids figure out a mystery, and it has all the classic monsters in it. There's a vampire. There's Dracula. There's Frankenstein. There's the Wolfman. I mean, there's a mummy. I mean, it's basically their dark universe with the Goonies associated to it. It's a silly story as far as plot wise, but it's hilarious, and I love it. I could watch it 100 times.
All right, I'm gonna have to check it out because you
Definitely.
honestly,
I will go get you my copy.
You're like the 4th or 5th person in the last month that's recommended that movie.
I would love to hear that on a Thursday show of I watched Monster Squad. Yeah,
yeah.
Justin reviews.
We could probably make that happen.
So it's a good movie.
So here's another monster movie that we can talk about that might go in kind of a weird direction. This was a GeekTyrant.com article from 3 days prior. Ridley Scott says the Alien franchise needs to get rid of the xenomorph. To which I say, what?
What would you name the movie?
It's Alien.
Yeah. What is it? Space Marines and Adventures? I mean, what are you going to call it? Oh, wait. The corporate ship and the Space Marines. That's what you would call it, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's literally just space mining at that point.
Yeah.
If you take out the alien, and I think in that article he talks about that the AI was the bigger threat, and that's what he wanted to build on in Covenant. Here's the thing about Covenant. Lennon said his piece on it, and I couldn't even get through it.
Yeah.
I fell asleep in the middle of it. When we had 2 Fassbenders in the movie, I fell asleep. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, you fell asleep.
Spoiler alert, I fell asleep, and you will too. It just... And I mean, he had 2 Fassbenders in it. You think at that point, like, man, double the Fassbender. This is going to work out. It does not. It's a lot of talking and a lot of scared, stuff. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what we were doing with it.
Yeah, he says, so this is a quote from Ridley Scott. He said, "We went to Covenant to perpetuate the idea and re-evolve the universe of the alien who, I think, the beast has almost run out, personally. You've got to come in with something else. You've got to replace that." And then he went on to say, "I think the evolution of Alien himself is nearly over, but what I was trying to do was transcend and move to another story, which would be taken over by AIs. The world that the AI might create as a leader if he finds himself on a new planet. We have actually quite a big layout for the next one." So...
Here's the thing. He still didn't explain the aliens in this last one, as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
We have so many questions from Prometheus. And in this one, we're kind of like, here's some answers. Dude, you have so much incomplete story going on here, you don't know what to do with it. But yet again, when we had the first, I'm going to say 3, and I should only say 2, but the first 3 aliens, we didn't know anything other than they bust out of your chest, and they take over your body, and they use you as a husk, and they leave. And then they turn into the big queen, and it's craziness. That's every movie. And we had Sigourney Weaver, which was killing it. But we didn't know anything. We didn't care. We were just scared out of our wits with them. The strobe lights in a ship out in space, and everything's made out of metal and dark black plastic, which is, hey, that's what the aliens are made out of too, evidently. It was scary. And then Prometheus was like, hey, here's this whole thing to go back to where maybe these aliens came from. Never explained. Alien Covenant. Here's all this craziness with dust that goes in your nostrils, and then you turn into, they bust out of your chest again. Never explained. I mean, what are you doing, Ridley Scott? Drugs?
I would think so. I mean, I don't know how you take the titular monster out of the franchise. That doesn't make sense.
I mean, why don't you take freaking Mogwais out of Gremlins? Yeah. I mean, it's just a bunch of talking about Christmas at that point.
It'd be like making a Friday the 13th without Jason.
They've done that, though. Like that. Wait, no, they made a Halloween without Michael Myers. So.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, it's odd. I think you know why people come to see those movies, and it's not for lack of xenomorph. So I don't know. That's bizarre. That is bizarre to me. But it's his thing. Let him do what he wants, and we don't have to go.
No, we don't have to go. And I mean, I think he's pretty much digging that hole pretty deep not to go. And I want to say in that article he's talking about another project he's working on, or I don't know. He acts like he's not going to get back to Aliens for a while, or whatever he calls it, aliens or whatever robots on parade. I don't know whatever he wants to call it, but I don't know. It just seems we've seen that movie. It's called 2001: A Space Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Guys seen it? Mm-hmm. There's an AI in there. He kind of loses its mind a little bit. So
and that whole concept, we've seen it a bunch of times. I mean, Terminator is basically that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically a program takes over the world, blows everybody up, and then tries to eradicate humans. The Matrix. Mm-hmm. We've done it, Ridley Scott. Okay,
yeah. But you have something unique.
Yeah, you have xenomorphs. No other people. I will say there have been a lot of movies that have tried to replicate a xenomorph or some kind of unwinnable force, and they fail at it. Except for Aliens. In Aliens, it's never over.
Yeah,
there's always an egg. Mm-hmm. They dropped a little hatchling somewhere in that thing, and then
they left a present behind.
I'm gonna tell you right now, probably the scariest thing in that movie is not those xenomorphs; it's those freaking face huggers. Those things are,
yeah,
they look like spiders.
They
wrap around your throat and they inseminate your freaking throat with their C's.
Yeah, gross, icky.
Work on that. Make more of those. That'll scare the crap out of people.
I don't like it.
No, I'm going to tell you right now, if I walk in a room of those things, I'm shooting myself. There's no coming out.
Just ending it.
I'm just ending it. I'd rather be dead.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I guess these guys, they want to be, when I think about somebody like Ridley Scott, I know he wants to be creative. He doesn't want to. And I respect the fact that you're not trying to do fan service at the same time.
No, I get it. You want to move on. You feel like you don't have any more to give this. That doesn't mean somebody else doesn't.
Yeah.
Let somebody else do it.
Yeah.
You got somebody that you really like their movies? Grab them up. I can almost bet anybody that you admire loves you.
Yeah. Or here's another idea. Just stop making alien movies.
Yeah,
make something else.
Yeah, make something else. Just walk away from it.
Just leave it alone. You don't have to.
Wes Craven shot himself in the foot with a couple movies that he kept making crap.
Yeah.
So walk away from it.
Yep.
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
Move on. Make a new universe.
That's right. Make a new universe. Make your alien somewhere.
Here's a segue for you. You know who's going to get to make a new universe?
Who's making a new universe?
Rian Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Because the announcement came out this week that Rian Johnson is going to be the guy to set up the next Star Wars trilogy.
What do you think that looks like?
Well, it's non-Skywalker.
Well, yeah, I know, but
they confirmed that.
Who with the characters you currently know would you want to see the trilogy follow forward?
I think it's going to be a whole new thing.
A whole new world?
A whole new world. I really think that, as we kind of talked about before, I think that when we see Episode 9, this is going to be wrapped up for Finn, Rey, Poe.
You think so? You think they'll just cash out all of them?
I think they're done. I think they're done with this part of the story, and we're going to go. I saw somebody saying that maybe it'd be like an Old Republic kind of trilogy, which would be cool.
Sure.
Or
I kind of feel like I want to know where Finn came from. Now, we might get that answered in this next one.
Yeah, we might get it.
But his whole story's interesting to me. I don't know why. I guess it's because he was talking about he was raised somewhere else to be what he is. That's pretty crazy.
Well, and that's not to say that they wouldn't make like an anthology movie for Finn.
Sure. Or his parents. Now, Poe, I think, would be a great story.
Well, we've got some of it in the comics.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. The comics are taking on. Don't get me wrong. The comics are doing a great job, but I feel like they're taking away from some great stories, too, that could be visually made. But, I mean, you're still getting a good story.
Yeah.
And the video games are taking some of the stories.
Yeah, the video games help tell the story, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I'm fine with all of it.
I like the idea of kind of going into, forgive the term, blue sky with this and like just setting up a whole new story in another part of the galaxy. you'd have to imagine that wherever they go, it's been impacted by the things that we've seen.
Sure, there's a ripple effect
Wars.
through this whole universe. It's like, when the Empire goes down, I would imagine. I mean, you see I guess I hate to use this word again, disconjointed Empire. They don't know what's going on. They don't have any clue. You probably have outposts that have no idea the Death Star's gone. They have no idea the Emperor's gone. They're just like, oh, okay, just doing my job,
Yeah.
going about my business.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. The questions come to my mind like, is it going to be about force-sensitive people, or will it not be at all? Will it be something totally different? I don't know. I'm excited. And I tweeted this out in jest, but hopefully it will not be infested by porgs.
Be porgorific.
No porgorific. I don't want this to be a porg trilogy.
Porg trilogy. The porgs.
Meet
Be the
porgs.
minions. Meet the porgs. That one. I know it's kid kind of thing is why they brought this character in. Let's not pretend for one moment it's for anything but the kids, because it is a Disney creation. Merchandising. I would not be against them doing like porg related stuff on the Disney Channel like they did with the Minions. Just go crazy with it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
don't care.
Deject it from the movies and just, here you go.
Yeah.
Here's this whole separate property of Cutie.
So while we talk about merchandising, I want to mention we were at the mall yesterday. We went into the Disney store.
That's dangerous. You're going to spoil things for yourself.
And we did.
I know.
Because,
I told you can't even go near stuff right now.
Because the Last
too
Jedi
close.
toys are out.
They're already out, and you're going to look at him, and you're like, who's this guy? You figure it out, and you spoiled something for yourself.
Well, I'm just going to warn people
Is Snork
now.
out?
Snork. The Snorks. Snoke, yes.
Sorry.
Snoke is, yes.
No, I like Snork better.
Not only can you buy a Snoke figure where he's sitting on a throne and it's him like in a golden robe, but you can also buy a set of figures.
I just had a theory on who he is, and it's funny.
That has Snoke in it, which reveals his size compared to the rest of the people, which is something that I thought it was really fun from the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
From the Force Awakens, to speculate, why is he projecting himself so big? Is he really like 2 inches tall?
Yeah,
is
he's
he
like,
some tiny little thing?
Yeah, he's got a voice modulator and everything.
Like the great and powerful Oz. I really thought there was going to be some sort of, and maybe he didn't even look like the way he was projecting himself, But spoiler alert, don't look at the toys, because apparently he's about 7 feet tall, which is really, honestly, that's like the worst outcome.
Yeah.
Because why not be super giant or small? Why 7 feet tall is like, okay, so he is like a little bigger than everybody
He's a humanoid.
else. Yeah.
All your Force people are humanoid. You said, though, that they have to have the blood flow of the midichlorians to make it work.
Well,
so.
according to the biology that we were given in episode 1.
That Qui-Gon Jinn bestowed upon us.
Yep.
Wise Qui-Gon Jinn.
Old wise Qui-Gon. Rest in peace.
Do you think that Snoke is the king of Alderaan?
The king of Alderaan.
He just got blown out into space.
I think...
Like the never-ending story style, where his palace is complete.
I think it's going to be a giant middle finger to all of us, and it's going to be Jar Jar.
Or it's going to be those aliens who made or whatever those people were who made the clones. Those big, tall, skinny people.
Yeah, I don't know if he's that tall, but I know I know who you're referring to.
Yeah.
The cloners.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we've made all
Kaminoans.
Kaminoans.
They were the Kaminoans.
Camaroans. Camaroans.
San Diegans.
San Diegans.
Yeah.
They're keeping it classy over there at the Clone Factory.
He looks a little bit like them, but I don't think his neck is
When
quite
you
as
when
long.
you said that tall, it hit me with that image. I was like, well, it could be one of those guys, and that's why they're doing the cloning. That's why they trusted another person like that, because maybe a Sith was running the cloning factory. Mm-hmm. Man, that's got to be a suck job for a Sith. I'm ready to go out there and do my job. You know what, Bill? You've been doing great in training. You really have. We've really enjoyed your presence here and what you offer. Really need to get this clone factory. We've got to get a guy with a pencil and a desk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a guy we trust. So if we could just get you in this role, that'd be a fun show.
Yeah.
Sith, the desk gears.
Running a factory.
That's why he's so pissed off. He's been behind this desk. Everybody's getting blown to pieces and killing Jedis, and he's like, still just moving a pencil with his mind.
Well, we need pencil pushers.
We need you
really
need
do.
those guys doing the work.
Yeah, you got
doing the work.
doing it. I don't know. I also think my other thought about Rian Johnson is that while I really appreciate the fact that Kathleen Kennedy, obviously we've seen that she has no problem firing people. So this is a
Let me tell you something. He's under a lot of pressure, I would imagine.
This is a huge endorsement from her to say, yep, this is the guy that's going to lead. Now, he's not going to direct all three of the new
but
ones.
he's going to be the guy under Kennedy.
And we haven't seen it.
Nope.
We haven't seen The Last Jedi yet. What if everybody hates it?
No one's going to hate
No one's going to hate it.
No one's going to hate this movie. Except you in the poor part.
But, I mean, honestly, it's a gamble because you don't know yet.
No, it's true. It's really... But, I mean, that's the whole long game with these films right now. I've seen quite a few articles and some videos and stuff like that talk about all these sequels that got canceled because they already had them going. Mm-hmm. They were already making a sequel for a movie that had not released because they were that confident in it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm telling, like I said before, why would you not go ahead and prep yourself ready for the next iteration? Disney's hitting home runs, man. There's no way they're not going to hit a home run, even if this movie is terrible. I mean, I'm looking at Phantom Menace right now. $1 billion in box office gross.
Well, there's a reason for that. I mean, if you look at like the Clone Wars and then
right,
like
okay, so and I just happen to have this Attack of the Clones,
Revenge of the Sith. That's what it was.
Revenge of the Sith. Is there? Yeah,
Revenge
okay,
of the Sith,
yeah, Attack of the Clones, 649 million.
Yeah,
okay, and then the other one's not even on the radar. Oh no, Revenge of the Sith was more. It made 848 million.
Yeah, it fell off, I guess, because.
But the reason that the reason Phantom Menace did so well is because your middle three were so celebrated. Yeah. So you've got these two movies that have done so well, and it's like, well, we gotta go see this, and whether it's terrible or not, people are gonna see it.
We have a couple of movies that are going to come out before we ever see the start of the... I mean, several. At least... We're going to see...
Solo movie.
The Last Jedi.
We'll see
the Solo movie. We'll see then number 9. And then...
Yes.
The Boba Fett movie, I think, is the next one.
I keep hearing that, but I haven't heard any confirmations, and maybe I just haven't read it. I don't know. The Boba Fett thing, I think, opens way too much of a big chest of things that can go on. Especially if you guys want to go down a black hole, read the whole thing about Mandalorians. It's insanity. All their canon, all the off-canon stuff, it's insanity.
So I just caught something in this article that I didn't catch before, and it was saying...
A quote.
Well, it was saying that Lucasfilm and Disney went as far to say the new trilogy will be completely separate from the episodic Star Wars Skywalker saga.
Okay.
And Johnson will introduce new characters from a corner of the galaxies that Star Wars lore has never visited. So it's not even going to be Old Republic.
So this is a fresh slate. Like you said, Blue Sky, it's a fresh slate. But they have a world. They have rules in this world, so that gives them a start.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got rules. You got a universe. It's interesting because it is, like, as we think back to our discussion on Ridley Scott and the Alien and Xenomorphs, he could make movies within the Alien universe.
He did with Prometheus.
Yeah.
But he threw that Xenomorph at the very end, and he didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that. And a lot of people said that was a big mistake because that's why he had to do so much with Covenant. It's like, oh, well, now we get Xenomorphs again. Mm-hmm. If he had just stayed with that piece that he built... He could have made more on that. Yeah. Could have made more on those guys.
So this is kind of
I think they're going to be tempted, though. I think they're going to be tempted, though, to do the nods and the talking and, you know.
They might.
I mean, you'd almost have to. People are going to want it, but I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm trying to think, because I'm telling you right now, guys, if you play the RPG, and I'm about to DM not anytime soon. I'm still working on the world. But I'm about to DM a Star Trek. Good God. Star Wars.
I've done it too.
Yeah. Star Wars tabletop game. And, man, you really have to know a lot about how this world works. I do not envy these directors. I do not envy these writers. The expanse and the lore and everything that goes into Star Wars is huge. I mean, Star Trek I thought was big. This is very complicated in relationships. Mm-hmm. Like, who knows who's backstabbing who, and then the whole thing about the Hutts. I mean, it gets really complicated. So, I don't know. I do not envy this guy to try to build from that.
Yeah. It's a big task.
Yeah, it is. He's got some years, though. Like you said, it's going to be a while, and I think he's going to need it. I think he's going to need years to put this together.
Yeah.
What's going to work, what people like, you know.
Here's what I would like to see. We know J.J. Abrams is going to direct Episode 9. So I think what they should do is let Rian Johnson direct this new first trilogy, the first episode, then let Abrams direct the middle, and then Johnson can come back and finish it out.
Sure.
Do
kind
a
of
little
the same
sandwich.
thing before. Yeah, sandwich. Well, you know, it'd be a real interesting one. And it's kind of the way the things are trending. And maybe Ridley Scott could jump on board as they do something with droids. Where do they come from? Mm-hmm. Why are they so sentient? You know, because every droid is almost self-aware. Which is funny in that world because I don't think there's any other really world that lets robots or droids be self-aware.
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous.
Total characters unto themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And they're okay with their subservient nature. Mm-hmm. They don't have the Asimovian 3 laws. You don't hear about any of that stuff. They're just okay with being disposable.
Yeah.
What being is okay being disposable?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, you do see reluctance to be like disintegrated and things
Sure,
like that.
Sure. I don't want to be torn apart.
I don't want to be decommissioned.
But I mean, think of R2, how he started out. You know, he'd come out of the ship and did repairs, and those guys were getting blown away. Yeah, they're getting shot right off the bow, and he's like, He's like, rewire. and he's, you know, he had a survival nature to him, but the other ones didn't. And they had to be self-aware.
Yeah. Yeah, and they are okay with the fact that they are second rate, like second class.
Yeah,
citizens.
they have no rights. They're total property. You know what being likes that? Maybe that's a thing to look into. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a planet of those guys just hanging out. I don't know that you'd want
Planet
that.
of the droids.
Planet of the droids, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that you would do that. I think that they would want to build something a little bit more draw. In my mind, I think it would be. And this is just a shot in the dark with a story, but the struggles of a planet that is dealing with the Empire not being as strong, but they have an Empire presence on their planet, and how that works between the inhabitants and maybe a garrison or something of the Empire. You know, when they don't have the backing, is that the time to take them, or is that the time to incorporate them?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's no telling like when chronologically it'll be placed either.
Oh yeah, and like you said, he could go way back, which I'm not going to lie, that personally would be better in my mind. I would love to see, and I know they've explored on, you know, KOTOR and Old Republic and all that bunch of stuff, but all that stuff's out now. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not in canon, and now they can build from that world maybe a canon. Yeah. I don't know. I think that'd be more interesting to me. I don't like the first 3. I mean, they have stuff in it I do like. Yeah. I like piecing the puzzle back together.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. People have said a million times, actually, more so than we could even say it ourselves, that George Lucas, on paper, and actually this is something they said like 1,000 times on the Star Wars Minute.
Yeah.
On paper, the prequels are not that bad.
It's the acting.
It's the execution.
It's the execution of it. Yeah, it's the way things were said. And don't get me wrong, the first one, I mean, you can't lose with Liam Neeson. You shouldn't have killed him.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest missteps for me was the huge buildup of Darth Maul to have him cut in half and thrown into the trash can. Mm-hmm. That was terrible.
It was a waste.
It was a waste. Mm-hmm. There was no point. And he wasn't even much of a threat, to tell you the truth, in the movie. He just showed up.
Yeah.
You know? I'm here to party, guys. Oh, I'm dead. You know, and that was it. And then I'm going to take the other best character with me. Mm-hmm. Thank God for Ewan McGregor, we wouldn't have anything.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor is really the glue that kept it all together.
It is.
Because if it weren't for him,
he's an amazing actor.
Could have been total disaster. Because you had a lot of people in there that they've done other things and been so much better.
Yeah, so much better. But in this,
yeah.
Hayden Christensen, I really liked him in, is it Jumper?
Jumper,
I thought was a fun movie. And he's done some other things that I thought was fun. And then
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman's done tons of stuff. It's much better than this.
Sam Jackson.
Oh, don't even get started. Sam Jackson's a legend. But he wasn't in there enough. He was always brooding and eyeballing him.
His whole persona was so weird. And then Christopher Lee, too. Like, he's a great actor.
Oh, my God. That guy, one of the best. And
actually, he's not bad. Like,
he's not bad in there now.
Yeah, as Darth Tyrannus.
Rex. I don't know if anybody knew his last name was Rex. That's a little bit of knowledge for you.
But no, he's good. So there are pieces, and of course, then you've got Ian McDermott.
Yeah,
right, playing the Emperor or
Palpatine.
Right.
Palpatine.
He's good too.
He's done other things. Everybody's done other things. And then they brought back the classics for the droids and this, that, and the other. I mean, it was good. It's just, there was too much of the Anakin. There was too much, there was too much other stuff.
Yeah.
And like you said, the execution, not working. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's really fun to think about what you could do. I mean, that's the fun part of it. Is like, I hope it will. If you were given a blank page and said, "Write me a Star Wars story," and I don't want to hear about any of these other guys.
That's too much pressure for me.
Do it now. Like she's standing there. Kennedy's just standing there looking at you the whole time while you're writing.
Well, here I have to imagine. I'll be honest. Like when I thought about this, I don't think that they just went to him and said, "Hey, guess what your next job is? You're going to create this next trilogy for us."
No, I'm sure he
I bet
wanted
you he
it.
had ideas.
Sure he did. He's like, he did an elevator pitch. Here's 2 minutes in an elevator. What do you got?
Yeah.
I'd like to get 5, and that's probably what it is. Can I get 5 minutes of your time?
Yeah.
5 minutes. He pitched what he thought that next world would be, and she's like, I like it. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So
that's
green
cool.
light.
Green light.
She took the page out of Netflix.
She's like, I really like what they're doing over there.
So, well, they better get used to it. I mean, Disney's going to have their
They're going to have to greenlight it. I was about to say, do you want to get into that kind of?
I think we should save it.
Okay.
Because we're running a little bit long,
Yeah,
so we're
we
going
are.
to have to save some of the talk about some of the Last Jedi requirements for the
I
theaters.
think Landon's going to have some say in some of this stuff. He's
Yeah.
really going to be heated about a couple of it.
We'll talk more about the Disney streaming service on Thursday. We'll talk about. I know we got some video game stuff we're going to bring up. So. Yeah, I think we got a lot of stuff teed up for Thursday. So, and it's good to give a little teaser.
That's right.
Bring them back, and then make them laugh.
Some really wild stuff.
It's really weird, wild. Come on back.
Weird, wild.
So, yeah. I just want to tell you that until between now and Thursday, we don't have to end this conversation. You guys can talk to us about all the stuff that we've been talking about here. You can do that on our Twitter at nerd_news_cafe. You can do that on our Facebook fan page, on our website, nerdnewscafe.com. You can email us, nerdnewscafe@gmail.com, and you can sign up and be part of our forums and discuss us in long form. Even though Twitter now gave us 280 characters, you're still not even limited to that on the forums.
I'm going to tell you right now, guys, there are some jokes, and there are some things that are said on the forums that we're not going to say on here.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of those conversations, you need to sign up and get in on it. And we will... Now, if you're going to be nasty and say messed up stuff, you're not going to get it put on there. But I'm going to tell you right now, we're not going to hold your opinion against you. If you got an opinion and you don't like what we're saying about Star Wars and you think they should have a whole show about Snoke and the gang or, whatever you want, tell us. You can go as long as you want to, because some people have.
Snoke and the Gang is my favorite funk
Snoke
band.
and the gang.
Yeah.
I'm 7 foot. No. And don't go to the Disney store without sunglasses of some sort. Yeah.
Spoilers
wait.
all around.
Wait till the movie's out, then you can go shopping there.
They even have like Finn in a different costume. I'm not even going to mention it, but like obviously it's a plot point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I told you not to go there. I told you. He never listens to me,
I
guys.
don't. I should.
But yeah, did you definitely get on the forums, guys? Hit us up on Twitter. Email us. Hit us up nerdnewscafe@gmail.com if you want your opinion to be private. We will read it out loud. No. If you say don't read this, we won't. But
And I haven't set it up yet, but pretty soon we're going to have the hotline, 1-800-NNC-DTF.
DTF apostrophe. I'm going to tell you right now, most of the time Landon's going to answer
He probably
that.
will. He'll be the voicemail.
Oh, that's great.
That'll
be
be
good. That'll be good.
Mm-hmm. Now, Matt, get your plugs in, and then let's get out of here.
All right. So if you guys know, me and Thomas are watching Star Trek Discovery. This show is really getting bonkers crazy. And we tell you about how bonkers crazy it is. There's a lot of feels on it, but there's a lot of what ifs and whys. And if you want to know what those are, you can join us, Tracking Trek Podcast, to listen in and hear what we have to say. And you can hit us up with your opinions and what your thoughts are on that show with Tracking Trek Pod. And that's on Twitter at Tracking Trek Pod. Just let us know what you guys think. We're coming up to the season finale, or mid-season finale, sorry, which is going to be this, well, it would have already happened. This is Tuesday. So we will have that up soon. And then we got some special things coming up after that. And if you want to know what we're going to do while we're on hiatus from the show, listen in.
Sounds good. And I know that I saw the news that Star Trek Discovery's already been kind of greenlit for season 2. Mm-hmm. So good. I mean, that's positive. That's
they got
good
6
stuff.
more episodes next year. They'll have 3 in January. No, 5 episodes. 3 in January and 2 in February.
I'm hearing really good stuff about it. So
it's good, but there are some very Star Trek-y things about it.
Yeah.
So I definitely listen in, definitely watch. It's something.
Yep.
I'm just glad Star Trek's back on TV.
Yeah, definitely. And interact with Matt.
That's right.
Go talk to him
And Thomas.
Go talk to him and Thomas.
Thomas is very opinionated. If you don't believe me, hit him up.
All right. So fill your ears with some Star Trek pod what do you Discovery pod?
Discover the pod.
Discover the pod.
Discover the pod with Tracking Trek podcast.
That's your new motto.
That's right. There we go. It's in Braille in case you guys need to feel around and find it.
And interact with us and then come back on Thursday when we're going to have a whole bunch of more exciting, controversial opinions. But until then,
in transmission.